Raising your level of consciousness is an energetic metamorphosis and recoding of your entire system, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Your physical body goes through metamorphosis. That is what it means to raise your level of consciousness. What you think you know on an intellectual level means absolutely fucking nothing. You are not a high level of consciousness because you know a lot of shit. You are not an awakened being because you know about the reptilians that run the governments across the world, or satanic ritualistic abuse, or the fact that the whole global cult system is exactly that. That's what patriarchy is. It's a global cult system that is here to enslave all of humanity. So what is patriarchy? You can't live and exist without feminine because it's the creator life force energy that sustains everything in existence. They want to rip that out, desecrate, kill what feminine is, and pretend like masculine is the only thing that exists. They completely cut the feminine out. They want to destroy her and replace her with themselves as gods. Patriarchy is the destruction and the death of the feminine. Energetically, you have to completely transform, dismantle, break down all of the energetic coding that has literally encoded you and programmed you to be insanely misogynistic, dumb and blind and stupid. They've encoded everybody. So it is an energetic recoding process to unplug from this. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Welcome, beautiful souls, to Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Rachel Fiori, and I'm going to invite you to put your seatbelts on because we are going to dive in. And this one is going to be a doozy. So it isn't for the faint of heart, and it certainly is not for the emotional fragile. If you still have emotional fragility and you can't handle hearing the truth, you are going to fucking struggle with this one. So buckle in, drop into your hearts, grow your light, or move the fuck on because you won't be able to handle it if you're a woman or a man, baby. You ready? Let's dive in. What patriarchy really is, and this is the scary truth about our world. It is time to wake up to higher levels and raise our level of consciousness actually for real. And what that means is not knowing intellectual stuff. It doesn't matter how much you think you know. Okay. Raising your level of consciousness is an energetic metamorphosis and recoding of your entire system, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Your physical body goes through metamorphosis. That is what it means to raise your level of consciousness. What you think you know on an intellectual level means absolutely fucking nothing. You are not a high level of consciousness because you know a lot of shit. You are not an awakened being because you know about the reptilians that run the governments across the world, or satanic ritualistic abuse, or the fact that the whole global cult system is exactly that. That's what patriarchy is. It's a global cult system that is here to enslave all of humanity. And you might already know that stuff, and you might know some details and be able to give some statistics and some examples. And that's great. If you're a low level of consciousness, still mind controlled and brainwashed by patriarchy, you will equate your intellectual knowledge to meaning you're somehow an awakened being. They are not one and the same. You will also make the mistake of listening to what I'm going to teach you and be like, you're saying that the statistics and the facts don't mean anything, except that I don't ever fucking say that. So again, you're still brainwashed by patriarchy and you are still mind controlled. So what is patriarchy? Let's talk about what it really is. Because, of course, most of you already know it is the system of enslavement. But what does that mean? You are completely brainwashed and mind controlled in this system. You can't not be. Okay. That's very simple, black and white. And the only way out of that isn't to just simply know that that is in existence. It's not to know that truth. Just because you know it doesn't mean you are unplugged from it. What does unplugging from it mean? It means energetically, you have to completely transform, dismantle, break down all of the energetic coding that has literally encoded you and programmed you to be insanely misogynistic, dumb and blind and stupid. That's what patriarchy does to people. Inequality, racism, all of it. I'm going to break this down. You have to energetically recode it. So if you're doing no energy work and you're not learning what that actually means, and you're not participating for yourself with yourself to completely recode what has been encoded and programmed in there, you are not an awakening being. You're not a highly conscious being. You're not. That's not what it means to be an awakened being. You're still encoded because they've encoded you. They've encoded everybody. So it is an energetic recoding process to unplug from this. But let's back up a minute. You need to understand this. So open up your ears, your physical ones, your ear chakras, open up your heart, let your soul come in. So there is a species of patriarchal beings, mostly reptilian, who have gone through planets, completely desecrated them, killed all the beings on the planets over time, and then they made themselves to Earth. Now, let's back up. I want you to understand this. What does patriarchy fucking mean? Let it sink in what this actually means. Because this male-dominated species, like I said, mostly reptilian, when they desecrated other planets, why did they do that? What is the point? What is the mission here? What is their agenda? So this is a species of beings, and it isn't just strictly one, but I'm going to keep this real simple for this episode. This is a species of beings who hate, covet, and are jealous of the creator of all, the one creator, the goddess. That is what feminine energy is. The primordial creator of all, everything, all that is, all it ever was, all that can be created and birthed into existence comes from her. They, in their male, masculine form, where divine masculine, if you remember, I have a lot of podcasts on this. There's a lot of free education. Go back and listen to the other podcasts about what divine masculine energy actually is and what divine feminine energy actually is. Because that's part of the fucking programming and the mind control and the brainwashing, is you think divine masculine is where the fuck the collective tells you, and then they say it over and over again, and you just fucking believe it. Even though it's all bullshit. Same thing about the feminine. Okay? So we got to wake up there, but let's go back. This species, and again, it isn't just strictly one, but I'm going to keep it simple. This species of beings was so jealous of the creator, so desperately wanted to be goddess. Remember, goddess is oneness. Goddess includes God. It's in the same fucking word. That's oneness. The divine feminine is the one creator, is all, because she is oneness. It is that plain and simple. These beings, in their toxic separation, not divine separation. Divine separation is divine masculine, where you can actually be incarnated as an independent being in divine separation from the one while still being connected and always to the one. Your separation is in physical form to experience an independent, quote unquote, separate, but not severance, toxic, not toxic masculine separation. That's what patriarchy is. It is the divine separation. I'm going to live as the creator in this particular being form, and I'm going to experience what I'm here to experience. And then there's going to be differences and limitations on that. And it's just to have the experience. Okay. So these beings got so separated because ego and, all of that. They got so separated. They were so jealous of the goddess, the one creator. They wanted to destroy her, replace her with themselves. They wanted to be gods. They wanted to replace goddess and just, I'm God. Notice God is only spelled with 3 letters. G-O-D, masculine only. That's not oneness. That is toxic separation. There's the birth of patriarchy. Everyone is goddess incarnated, goddess, because that is oneness. It includes all. If you are a man, you are goddess incarnated. It means you are balanced and divine and wonderful and all the things. And I'll get into more of that later. And I've done a lot of teachings on it, so I shouldn't have to go that deep with it in this episode. I want to focus on other part of this. When you desecrate and kill and remove and devastate and snuff out the feminine, you kill everything off. Divine feminine energy, because it's oneness, is your life force energy. Let me say that again. Divine feminine energy is your life force energy. That is what life force energy is. It is the creator energy. That's what divine feminine energy is. It is the oneness creator energy that births and sustains all life, that creates, that births and sustains everything. That's divine feminine energy. Patriarchy is a world of motherfucking inversion. So when you hear of these cults, which religion is nothing but patriarchy, they're cults. When you hear from that stupid black book that was written by a bunch of men and then rewritten by a bunch of men and then rewritten again, and King James rewrote it again and blah, blah, blah. Go do your history. Go do the research on that. It was just written and then rewritten and then rewritten and then rewritten based on political agenda, which is all patriarchy and bullshit. Okay. So that stupid fucking black book, which of course they're always going to put a little bit of truth everywhere. You should know that by now if you're learning from me. They always incorporate some truth, but they always invert the truth. There's a system of inversion. That's what patriarchy is. So the system of inversion, they say man is created in the image of God. Well, these reptilian species that run the whole world and are all these elite races of beings, all the governments are that. I'm going to call them reps because I don't want to keep saying the word reptilian, so I'm not going to say it anymore because I'm hoping this video won't get taken down. Those are the reps. Okay. So they think they're the gods and they want to create a planet where they're the gods and they snuff out and desecrate feminine, except that you can't live and exist without feminine because it's the creator life force energy that sustains everything in existence. You snuff that out, you snuff yourself out, and you snuff everything else, all other beings out. So these beings created in the image of God, remember inversion? No, you were all created in the image of Goddess. They want to rip that out, shorten that word, desecrate, kill what feminine is, and pretend like masculine is the only thing that exists. They completely cut the feminine out. They want to destroy her and replace her with themselves as gods. This is God. Male, masculine only, who can't give birth and can't sustain life. So these beings functioning the way that they function, that's what patriarchy is. Murder, kill, snuff out, oppress, destroy the feminine, the creator, goddess, the one, and replace her with he, just he. Replace the she with he. Well, she includes he because she is oneness and she is all and everything. We are all she, her, goddess. You completely cut that out and remove it, and you only have male and masculine. That's where it becomes toxic masculine. That's patriarchy. Patriarchy is the destruction and the death of the feminine. So in every way that you're going to rape, because patriarchy is rape culture, You're going to rape and destroy and own and siphon the energy from the feminine. That's all life force energy. You're going to do all of these things. You're going to oppress and make subservient and submissive and blah, blah, blah. You're going to do all the things that you do in order to create an entire slave planet. Okay? Now, other planets that they've done this to completely destroyed. The planet died over time. Why? Because that's your life force energy. There's no such thing as completely removing divine feminine and not killing everybody, including themselves in the process. Ooh, that's key. We'll get to that. So, how do they create an entire planet under their control that are all slaves? How do they create slavery on that level, global mass scale level? And all these brainwashed, indoctrinated, mind-controlled, dumbed-down, stupid humans that don't know any better and just follow the rules of their government. How do they do that? Because they got to make you stupid. This is where we learn to become the ways of oneness. We have to learn to become the way of humility. You're not the way of motherfucking humility. You're not the way of wisdom. If you don't realize they made you fucking stupid, that's not an insult. That's on purpose. You're fucking dumb and blind. That's what we have to wake up to. That's the becoming, okay? So you realize, oh, where am I at in my level of consciousness? I better heal this shit. So it means I need to see the programming I'm actually running in the wounding. We'll get to that later. That's everything we teach you at Masters of Self University, by the way, and how to achieve that. So in order to enslave an entire planet of humans, okay, you brainwash, you psychologically damage, and you create the abuse and all the levels and all the layers. And there are hundreds upon hundreds of what they do to enslave an entire race of people. The human race, one race. They want our entire human race, they want as slaves. And we've been slaves. That's what they've done. So what do they do? Patriarchy, this rep system, rep controlled, dominated planet. Those are the elites, most of them. What do they do to make their job a little easier? Well, they make us do all their dirty work for them. How do they do that? Well, first of all, the way that they psychologically abuse, brainwash, mind control, and damage boys compared to girls. They do it to everyone, but they do a certain thing to boys, men, and they do a certain thing to girls, women. Of course, hello, to make their jobs easier and make us enslave ourselves, what are they going to do? Well, let's look at men compared to women. Oh, tough one. You have to be a fucking rocket scientist to get this clue. Come on, people. Men are physically bigger and stronger, so they are going to be the physical fucking threat that keeps everything in fucking order. So they have to be turned into the monsters, to the rapists, to the violent ones, to the ones that are the domestic abusers, for example. Okay. They are the ones that carry out physical abuse, rape, threat of physical abuse, intimidation. So if you have the physically bigger, stronger, naturally, generally speaking, and yet, of course, there could be exceptions. I've had friends of mine, that were male friends, men that are fucking my height or even shorter. Yeah, I've had friends that were shorties. No big deal. What the fuck? That has nothing to do with anything. Generally speaking, and that doesn't mean women aren't strong and blah, blah, blah. If you're that dumb, you're not ready for real education. We're talking about, generally speaking, men are the physically bigger, stronger of the two main genders. Got it? Very simple. So who do you think they're going to turn into and psychologically brainwash to be the fucking abusers and molesters and the main pedophiles everywhere? Because they can keep everything in order. When you have a scenario of men versus women, statistically, across the entire fucking globe, men are the rapists, men are the abusers, men are the violators, men are the ones that are scary and unsafe. Women can't walk anywhere on the planet without being at risk for being kidnapped, murdered, raped, tortured, then murdered, tortured, trafficked, kept as a sex slave before they murder you. The majority of serial killers that torture and murder and rape repeatedly, men, motherfucking men, everywhere, motherfucking men. So here's where misogyny comes in, because this is patriarchy. Here's where you're dumb brainwashing, dumbing you down to be stupid and mind controlled. You say, oh my God, you can't talk about men like that. Women are bad too. That's the fucking you're a puppet. You're a brainwashed, mind controlled puppet. You're stupid. It's time to wake up and let the intelligence and the way of wisdom come online. But what about this person? What about this monster? She's a woman. No fucking shit. Who said no women were abusers? You didn't hear me fucking say that. Did you hear me say that? Across the entire globe, men, generally speaking, are the rapists, the violent ones, the ones who physically abuse, who intimidate, and who do all of the violence across the globe are carried out by men. That is a motherfucking fact. If you're offended by that, if you get defensive and you deflect, women are bad too. There's some bad women out there who are abusers. My mommy abused me. Then you're a brainwashed, mind-controlled, wounded puppet. You have no high level of consciousness. You're so far away from being a conscious being. That is misogyny. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman that I'm speaking to, because women are fucking misogynistic. You were born in patriarchy. Women are misogynistic all the time to other women. Well, my mom was the one that abused me. Well, I'm sorry that your mom was a cunt, but here's what we do when we're misogynists. Don't you know that men they have it rough under patriarchy? Don't you know men are abused? Don't you know they're psychologically no fucking shit. Did you not hear me just say all that? This is what I'm teaching. But when you're a misogynist, you still find a way to blame women. You coddle the fucking men. Oh, here's the excuse for men. Because generally speaking, women who were raped and abused and molested as children, they don't grow up as women to be rapists and abusers. Generally speaking, no, they fucking don't. Statistically, no, they don't. You know what they do? It doesn't mean they don't repeat abuse, but you know what they do? They repeat the abuse on themselves. The majority of them. They listen to what I just said. Did you hear what I just said? They repeat the abuse on themselves. And there's 100 ways, 100 examples I could give you. These are your cutters. Here comes the addictions. They don't, generally speaking, turn around and fucking abuse because they've been abused. Boys, on the other hand, men, when they were abused, they turn around and become the fucking abusers, and they carry out the abuse. They become the victimizer. Women tend to become the victims. Let me give you an interesting fact about porn addiction in case you've never heard this or you don't know this yet. Of women who are addicted to porn, okay, men and women, massive porn addiction in the world and especially in the United States. We should all probably know that. Massive fucking porn addiction, okay? So mostly men. It doesn't mean women are not addicted to porn. They are. And of the graphic, violent type of porn, although generally speaking across the board, way more men watch violent, graphic, horrible abuse of women in heterosexual porn. That's where we're going to find it the most. They watch more of that. However, women, there's a small percentage of women who are actual porn addicts who go for the most extreme, violent, heterosexual, violent types of porn where women are completely tortured and abused. And isn't that fascinating? Do you know why? Because let's keep learning here. They're reliving and abusing themselves through that. Let that fucking sink in. So men that watch the violence more often than not, they're carrying it out. They're fantasizing about doing it. Women are continuing to abuse themselves. That is the biggest difference between women and men who have been abused. Biggest difference is that. Period fucking end. That isn't a goddamn opinion. That is the fact. And no, men aren't goddamn protectors. Look at our fucking world. Stop with the mind control. Let me tell you something over and over and over, and you'll just eventually believe it. And that's all this collective, what divine feminine, divine masculine is, what you hear in the collective, and you just fucking believe it. And people who are under mind control, that's how mind control works. This is why at Masters of Self University, you got to walk your talk and actually not be mind controlled anymore. In order to elevate people higher, you have to elevate yourself higher out of the programming. It's not protective energy. Divine masculine energy is not protective energy. That doesn't even make any fucking sense, because if it was, let's go back. I already taught this. Men are the physically bigger, stronger of the two genders. So if they were protectors, what's going on in the world? Why are so many women and children being raped by men? Why are so many women and children being trafficked? This doesn't make any sense. Because men, if they were protectors, would put a stop to it. Again, do your research. Let's go to more statistics. Facts, I should say. If you look up, because you can look up the statistics in this. So here's the more facts for you. Here's more truth as the way of truth. Women are the ones who put themselves in danger and at risk to save and protect other women and children when they see that there is a threat to them. Every single story, and I have tons of them in my life so far, in my adulthood so far, the number of personal fucking stories, just me, that I could tell you that I put myself in harm's way to protect a woman being motherfucking abused by a man right in front of us. I was around other men. In none of those fucking examples, none of them that I can sit here and share, did a man take the lead and take the initiative to go protect women. Not one fucking time. And statistically, women are always the ones. Statistically, men stand around and do nothing and watch the abuse. Oh, but not all men. There's your fucking misogyny, where you can't talk about a global collective fucking problem where the majority shows up in this way. And then you say, oh, but there's a few men on the planet that absolutely stand. Of course they do. Nobody's saying anything negative about the ones that do. What the fuck? Are you this stupid? Let me put this to you another way. All right. We really want to hit this home, because we need to wake up for, we've run out of time in the spiritual world and not get a clue and not get this stuff yet. Okay. So here's the next one. Take a breath. If we're going to sit here and talk about neo-Nazism, let's talk about that for a minute. White, racist, white supremacist motherfuckers, and especially now in the United States, that number and the presence of them have been fucking going up and on the rise. Okay? That's just truth. They're gathering, they're making themselves present, they're doing their fucking marches, they're doing whatever the fuck. White race Nazi fucking supremacist piece of shit, piece of shit. I can't say that enough. So if you're going to talk about that group of people, and especially if you have, say, people of color, people of darker skin color in the conversation, and they're sharing, oh my gosh, this is really scary. Where I live, presence is getting really worse. Here's the threat. I don't feel safe going out of my house. And your fucking response would be, well, you know, it's not all white people. Then you're a stupid, racist, brainwashed, mind-controlled, dumb motherfucker. Are you kidding? Is that what your response would be if a person of color? I did social media posts about a boy last year. It may have been 2023. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But there was a boy in college, a young man, who had a handful. There were 3 to 5. I don't remember exactly how many. White boys who pretended to befriend this boy of color. And I think they were on the track team together, like they played a sport together in college, something like that. They pinned him down. He thought they were all friends. They pinned him down, this group of white boys pinned him down, and they carved the N-word into this boy's chest. Carved it into his chest. Do you know how calculated, how manipulative, how gruesome, how fucking violent? That's what I cannot even imagine what that poor young boy went through, young man went through. Okay. Now, when we talk about that, if your first response, well, you know, it's not all white boys. It's not all white people that would be violent. I mean, there was only, what, 4 of them? That's 4 white people. Oh, if I had a fucking delete button, so many of you would disappear from this planet. It's a good thing I don't have one. That is no different than when we talk about the problems we have with the way men have been conditioned to be on this planet under patriarchy. They're the ones turned into the monsters. No, you don't get credit for being a protector when you're paid for a job, by the way. If you're a firefighter, but you're firemen, I'm talking about men specifically. If you're policemen, you're paid to do that job. You're in the military, you're military men. You're paid to do that job. You don't get credit for being a protector. You're paid to do the job. You better be doing your fucking job. That's your job. You're paid to do it. You should have the skills and the know-how. You should be equipped to carry out your job and then get paid for it. That doesn't mean you're a protector. If masculine energy, period, were simply protector energies, you were protectors, you're the bigger, stronger of the fucking gender of men, women, and children. You're the biggest, strongest ones around physically. The whole world would be fucking safe, wouldn't it? Listen, wake the fuck up. If all you can do is hear this and, oh my goodness, you're speaking the truth is that, get the fuck out of here. You better grow up. Your emotional fragility. You're misogynistic. What mommy wound do you have? Well, my mommy was the one that abused me. Well, there's your wound. Hello. This is the lack of self-awareness when we don't even understand our own programming. And by the way, ooh, you better take a breath on this one because it's still coming. I'm coming with my dragon fire for the level of stupid, because this is the mind control of the world. This is the misogynistic mind control of the world. How people are encoded to show up and be and think and behave. Okay. So if you are in a scenario where your mommy dearest was the abuser abusing you, okay, because of course that's true. Of course that exists. So no, I never fucking said that, oh, there's no such thing as a mom because she's a woman not being abusive. There are plenty of them out there. We live in a patriarchal world. Okay. We live in a patriarchal fucking world of oppression and enslavement where the only thing to do is desecrate the fucking feminine. So your mommy was the abuser. Here's my question to you. Where was your dad? Where was dad? Because we live in a patriarchal world. He's the bigger, stronger of the two. Compared to mommy, he could beat the shit out of mommy. There's nothing she'd be able to do about it if he just chose to beat the shit out of her. So if she, just like when you're a little child and mommy's abusing you, she could be beating the shit out of you, doing whatever to you. What are you going to do about it as the child? She's bigger and stronger than you. So what are you going to do as a child? Can you just escape that? Why don't you just leave? This is what we do to women all the time. Why don't you just leave? Well, the rate of murder goes up when women leave their abusive partners. That's a fucking fact. Look up the goddamn statistics. When you're the smaller, physically smaller, you don't just leave. When we live in a patriarchal society, you can't just up and leave because financially you probably can't support yourself or your children. You're fucking trapped. There's no way to get out. And fuck you. There's plenty of women who want to get out of their heterosexual marriages, partnerships, whatever, and whether it's just themselves or they have children to take care of, they have not just college degrees, they have master's degrees. They have very high levels of education, full-time jobs, still can't go out on their own and support themselves. Why? Fucking patriarchal system prevents them from being able to do that. Are we this fucking stupid that we can't understand the way the system works at every fucking level to enslave and oppress women? So let's go back to Mommy Dearest being the fucking narcissistic abuser, whatever she was, because I'm never saying that that doesn't exist. Where the fuck was your father? How absent was he? Because he's the bigger and stronger of the two. So where the fuck was he? Did he even exist? Or did he just go knock her up and leave her like a percentage of men? Because that's part of patriarchy. Let me get them all fucking pregnant, spread my seed, and then leave you to do all the work. So is that the case? So is she abandoned and abused? How abused was she by your fucking father if he's still in the picture? What's that scenario like? What level of oppression and abuse did she endure to become the abuser? Because in a patriarchal society, the bigger, stronger man could be like, oh my God, you're beating my kid or you're abusing my child in all the ways or one way or whatever ways. You touch my child again, he could beat the shit out of you and make it fucking stop, couldn't he? Oh, patriarchy. Also, it's a man's world. Men have historically made way more fucking money. They're the ones that have the financial means to leave. Why aren't those men? My dad didn't abuse me, but my mom did. Why didn't your dad pick you up, financially remove you from the scenario? So if he wasn't an abuser too, he's the man. He actually has the physical stature and the financial means to take you to safety. Why didn't he? Where was he? Why didn't Daddy save the day? Oh, are we going to let that one sink the fuck in? That's all misogyny. Of course, abused people abuse. Fucking duh. Are we really? No shit. We need to break this down into way more levels, way more layers of how all of this fits together. And you need to understand it level by level. Okay, let's go to this level and understand all the programming that we have all been fucking mind controlled and brainwashed with. This is the energetic coding of why we then show up the way we show up. And if you lack the awareness of, oh, I'm really triggered, I'm really angry right now with what you're saying, you're fucking triggered. What is the trigger? Go into your mental programs. What are the emotional programs that are coming up for you? This is your fucking brainwashing coming online. Hello. What are your behavioral programs? Do you fucking slam? Oh, comment. When you're triggered? Or do you process? Do you become the way of wisdom? Take it and say, what do I need to learn here? Where are those programs inside of me? Woman or man? Where are these programs inside of myself? What are my distorted, fucked up views? What are my wounds that are attached to that create my reaction that I can't sit here and handle the ugly truth? This is ugly truth and it's very unfortunate. But if we don't actually learn how this works at every fucking level, and you don't wake up and say, oh my God, we live in a satanic cult world and there's Satanism and abuse everywhere and that means I'm an awakened being. No, it fucking doesn't at all. That does not mean you're a high level of consciousness. It means you have intellectual aware knowledge about some things that go on in the world. And to whatever degree, if you've experienced those horrific things, I'm very sorry if you have. It's absolutely horrific and horrendous. And I send the way of compassion to you because no one should have to go through that. And yet this is our fucking world, isn't it? So it doesn't mean you're healed from that because you talk about it or that you're trying to educate other people about it. That doesn't mean you're healed in any way. That's not what healed means. Being intellectual doesn't heal fucking anything. And we're going to get into the encoding and the energies of this in just a minute. Just because you even have firsthand experience doesn't fucking mean you're healed and whole and elevated in your level of consciousness. Okay? I, at 13 years old, had a big shift in awakening with my abusive stepfather. And I was like, oh my God, this has nothing to do with me. All his programming, it is not about me. And now that doesn't mean the abuse is going to stop. I was only fucking 13. I didn't get away from the abuse until I went off to college. I was 18. I had 5 more years to endure the abuse before I could get out. And yet, massive shift in my level of consciousness. And I had, as the way of wisdom and the way of humility, and the way of responsibility, and the way of truth. There's no way I am not completely somehow psychologically wounded, damaged, like I have to be fucked up from this. And I left when I finally physically was able to get out. I went off to college with no way I'm not fucked up. I might not know every way that I am, because I mean, I was the athlete. I got good grades. I'm going off to college. I had a lot of friends. I've been whatever. You couldn't tell that from the outside. But as the way of responsibility, as the way of truth, as the way of fucking wisdom, like that, I will never stop seeing the damage and heal it. Not just seeing it. You're not getting anywhere if that's all. Oh, this is how abuse works. Okay, who fucking cares if you don't know how to end it? Change it, transform yourself from it. Okay, so then it was, I made a vow to myself, I will stop, and I don't care if it takes, I don't care if I live to be 32 years old or 132 years old. I am never going to stop until I heal this shit within myself. And heal this shit, I don't even know what the fuck to heal. So I'm going to discover, I'm going to hold up a sacred fucking mirror. I'm going to see when I'm triggered, how I'm triggered, what triggers me, and go deeper. Why is that triggering? Why am I pissed off and angry? I can't handle the fucking truth. How goddamn emotionally fragile am I? That's fucking pathetic. Patriarchy brainwashing. You can't sit and listen to fucking truth. You should be infuriated that this is what we're all brainwashed to do. And men, you should be fucking infuriated that your divinity is so stripped away, that we have a whole system of these fucking reptilian sociopathic species that only thing they think of you is be the raping, violent, stupid, oppressive boots on the ground for them to do their dirty work for them. That should fucking infuriate you and light a fire under you to do nothing but change those energetic codes and become nothing but divine. But so many people are trapped in being offended. Are you serious? We don't have any time for this shit anymore. Wake up for real. So we are nothing but energy. We are a consciousness, a soul having a human experience. We are energetic frequencies of consciousness here, manifested into physical form. We carry energetic codes in order to live in this reality, experience this physical reality, experience being human. So think about this will make it easier for a lot of people. Think about your DNA coding. Even if you don't know much about it, pretty much everybody is going to understand. Well, I know we have DNA codes, and our DNA can be turned on and turned off. We can switch things. So let me give you a very simple example. You may have the DNA codes that make you more prone to being obese. So it's very easy for you to gain weight, and you have all these, you can be more prone to being obese. It's very easy for you to go in that direction. It'll be easier for you to have food addiction and different things based on your genetic code. You have obese people in your family, and it's not black and white. You can turn that shit off. Okay. Now you have another person who's really skinny and really little naturally. Their genetic coding are obviously going to be more on it's going to be harder for them to get bigger, possibly to put on muscle mass, but to get bigger, they're probably not going to do that. It's going to be harder for them to put on weight. That's part of their genetic coding. So if you're prone to obesity, this is just a simple, I'm giving you a very simple analogy so you can understand energetic coding. You can, based on your life choices, you can completely change that coding. You're more prone to obesity. Well, I don't like that. I don't want to be morbidly obese. I don't want to be obese at all, let alone that. So I am going to do the things to shift my coding. And only some of that shift in coding is going to be how healthy are you in every way. You know, what you put in your body, what you consume, the level of exercise, what is the best level of fitness that your body needs, desires, and wants from you. So what type of fitness do you need to give to your particular body? Okay, so that it can thrive and be the healthiest. And it isn't about being some ridiculous tiny size. That's so stupid. That's part of the fucking brainwashing bullshit. But it is, you don't have to be a morbidly obese person. You have to be an obese person. That's ridiculous. But if you're prone to it, you shift those codes. And part of shifting those codes, of course, is going to be the food that you consume, learning what your body needs, how much, how little, how often, learning that about your body, the level of mobility that you need for your body. It's also an energetic piece to it where you can just turn that shit off. And then you can be the healthiest version of you by just taking those gene codes and turning them off. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to do that. And some of them is your environment, your exercise, your diet, your blah, blah, all the things. Those are all parts of it. We are programmed into all of these things from patriarchy. They are energetic coding. They are frequency coding. We are frequency. There are codes, programs, programming of inequality, prejudice, racism, misogyny, inferior, superior programs. Those are the programs of inequality, and they are put in every way, shape, or form you could imagine. Emotional fragility, low EQs. Okay. All of these things to immediately get triggered into, I'm triggered by you. And then you don't even have the fucking self-awareness that you're triggered. All of this is energetic coding. It is frequency coding. We are nothing but codes. All right. So I've said it a million times. I'm going to keep saying it till the day I fucking die. This is warriors' work. We are in a spiritual war. This is warriors' work. Fuck your stupid minds. Get out of your intellectual, I think I know everything bullshit. That's all part of the programming and the mind control. And energetically, warriors' work, you have to turn off all of the codes that make you in fear, survival mode, inequality, superior, inferior. You immediately feel inferior to somebody when you're triggered, or superior. How dare you? And then you go dominate, deflect, defensive, all that shit. That's programming. We don't fucking make excuses for it isn't your fault that you've been programmed that way. Woman, man, child, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are in the world. It's not your fault. It is your fucking responsibility now. The way of responsibility. It is the way of responsibility to change this coding. You don't change this coding by putting out a bunch of intellectual statistics and facts and focusing on our intellect and staying in our mind. That doesn't recode any fucking thing. It doesn't heal anything. You have to energetically recode yourself. That's warrior's work because it takes time. It takes devotion. It takes willingness. And ooh, boy, does it take divine power. Because you have to look in the sacred mirror at every fucking program you run that is shameful, embarrassing, ugly, shitty, misogynistic, racist. I'm not a racist. Fuck it. There's 10 right there, programs. It's not about shaming and putting you down. It's seeing the fucking truth so that we can change it. There is a difference. And if you're so emotionally fragile, which shows you are nothing but wounded, you are not healed yet, that you can't handle listening to what the truth is, that means you have no power to fucking change it in yourself, which means you have no fucking power to change it in the world. Where are my warriors at? Where are you? You have to accomplish this for yourself before you can help anybody in the world. You are not helping anyone in the world if you are not literally walking the talk by recoding yourself energetically. That means removing the frequencies of all this programming, seeing what ones you run yourself. Oh, look, that's in my blind spot. I need to pull that. Ooh, that's ugly misogynistic program I run. I'm a woman. I'm fucking misogynistic. Holy shit. Look at me defending men and being defensive like toxic masculine patriarchy taught me how to be. What, you think because you're a woman, you're not toxic masculine? The fuck? You don't even know what masculine means if you think you can't be that. But that's the mind control, isn't it? That's the brainwashing, isn't it? That's the making us all fucking stupid, too stupid and weak and emotionally fragile to look in the fucking mirror. Okay, I got to start with me. I have got to start with me. Oh, and I feel so goddamn inferior in front of the presence of divine power who's going to fucking spit the goddamn truth. I can't fucking handle it. Well, why do you feel so inferior? And then why do you, because of that, project? Oh, you think you're better and superior, and you. Look at yourself. How old are you, little child, wounded, who has a fucking mommy wound and can't handle divine feminine power? Patriarchy brainwashing. That's the mind control. That you actually think oneness means not holding anybody accountable. That you actually think oneness means holding people accountable while fucking judging them, and you're too stupid to realize you're projecting your own judgment. You can't even tell that somebody, just because they speak the fucking truth very bluntly, doesn't mean they're judging a goddamn soul. You can't tell the difference. You know why? That's the brainwashing. That's the dumbing down. That's the stupidity. That's the fucking mind control. That you can't even sort this out within yourselves. If you can't sort this out within yourself and you get lost and don't know what to do, how are you going to help the rest of the world? You can't, you don't. I don't care what you think you're doing. Because making people aware of this stuff to higher and higher degrees is scary. It is horrifying, the truth of what this world is. And if you're not equipped with the wisdom, the skills, the know-how to energetically shift it all and transform it within yourself so that you can actually unplug from that matrix of enslavement by the elites, the cult leaders, the Satanism, the reptilian domination of this planet, to unplug from that isn't just to know about it. To unplug from that isn't just about, okay, let me file an ROE and stop paying income taxes, and I can at least do that part. That means, yes, do that. I hope you all do it in this country, in the United States. I want everybody to do that. That doesn't mean you're highly conscious and you fully unplugged. Those are pieces that we take action on, but energetically, if you're in fear, you got to handle the coding of being in fear and inferior and in, fight, flight, or freeze, being in freeze, being in flight mode. Oh, I don't want to look the other way. Or wanted to fucking attack somebody because you can't handle the fucking truth yourself. It just shows you're emotionally fragile and you're wounded and you have no clue how you're actually showing up in the world versus how you like to think you are. Hello, when are we going to wake up for real? We've run out of time to get this, y'all. We've run out of time. Like, you got to get it. And you have to actually become. This is the becoming. Is that these codes, you have to change the frequency of yourself. Changing the frequency of yourself isn't doing a meditation regularly. That isn't good enough. There's way more to it than that. You have to recode yourself to oneness consciousness frequencies. There's 20 of them. You dissolve, you alchemize, you become aware of all the ugly programs, the shadow self programs that you run that have been put in there. It is not your fault that all of this nasty shit, man or woman, has been put in there. It is your fucking responsibility to put a goddamn end to it. That is your responsibility. Or you're simply not an awakened divine being. That's just that simple. That's not shaming you. That's the fucking truth as the way of truth. Why can't you handle that, some of you? It really is that simple. The emotional fragility is a program that is a mind control program that you think you're weak and powerless and can't do anything. And just because some of you think you're not, intellectualizing anything doesn't change the energetic codes. You have to recode yourself as a being. That recoding raises your frequency. The more you raise your frequency, that your foundational frequency, listen, if you still get anxiety, you're not healed. If you get panic attacks, if you still go into fear, oh no, you're not healed. You are programmed. You are wounded still. And if you think that's somehow a put down or offensive, it shows just how low conscious you are and how wounded you still fucking are and how far away from healed you actually are. Being fucking emotionally fragile, offended by everything. You're not here doing your work, your warrior's work. You're not becoming who you came here to become to put an end to all the shit. The only way to put an end to all the shit is to truly have an actual revolution that is in frequency. So when enough of us raise our frequency and Earth is raising her frequency because she's had enough, you need to understand something. Those lower frequencies that exist from the beings who siphon divine feminine energy from women and from men, it is life force energy. Remember that. Don't go into your fucking mind control brainwashing conditioning of what you think you know. That's brainwashing. Divine feminine is life force energy that is being siphoned from all humans by these reps, by the elites. Okay. And there's a much bigger agenda of what to do with humans. That's all part of the Epstein crap, by the way. All part of that. Go down the rabbit hole of what's finally starting to come out about who he was and who he worked for. Part of the CIA is finish that country. I'm going to call it is. Are you with me? Just going to call it is. Okay, because the United States, I'm just going to say us. US, us. Us and is are in bed together. Is has us by the kahunas. And Epstein was all part of that. And he was also a rep. Remember that long word? He was a rep. He was that species, part of that whole clan up there, the ones that rule the world. He was one of them. And a lot of that experimentation of what was going on behind the scenes isn't as simple as just the sex and human trafficking stuff. It was to do a lot of experimentation and other things to create more hybrids and to create women as incubators to keep that one species from going extinct, because we're starting to raise our frequency here. If you're doing the actual real work on yourself, you are out of your mind, out of intellectualization. You are energetically rising higher with your frequency, which means you're seeing every fucking program you run that's been implanted and put in there and you've been conditioned to show up as automatically fragmented and no clue that you're even doing that thing. But that's part of the mind controls, to fragment everybody in their minds, fracture you off, break you into a million pieces. You have to heal that, raise that frequency, transform all those energies that are trapped in there. That means all the codes that are in there. You transform those codes and you replace them with enlightened frequency codes. The way of truth, the way of compassion, the way of harmlessness and gentleness, the way of unconditional love, the way of humility. Oh, that's a big one. The way of presence, the way of connection. There's 20 of them. The way of harmony. You have to energetically work with those frequencies and become them. So what happens is Earth herself and all of us raise our frequency by doing this warrior's work. It is painful, it is hard, it is ugly, it is challenging. You have to look at yourself and dissect yourself, every fucking ugly thing that has been put in there, and stop with the goddamn shame and blame, and then projecting onto other people, by the way, because you feel so fucking insecure with your own damn self and powerless. That you can't handle somebody powerful telling you the fucking truth and be like, great, I want to be that powerful too. What do I need to heal inside myself so I can be that divinely powerful and be able to speak the truth black and white without getting so fucking offended about everything all the goddamn time? Say it nicer. If you just said it nicer. No, if you weren't wounded, you wouldn't be fucking offended. If you weren't so goddamn emotionally fragile, you wouldn't be fucking offended. You'd be lit the fuck up. And you would want to burn down the fucking patriarchy that did all of this to you. Yes, you, whoever's listening. Because you're all encoded with this shit. And it's time that we said enough. And enough means I'm going to do the work on myself to raise my frequency, because the higher we go, guess what? All those sociopathic elitists that enslave humanity literally cannot continue to exist in the high frequencies. They can't function. Literally, energetically, they will cease to exist. So guess what they do? They start to look for other planets that they can go rape, decimate, dominate, take over, and control. So they're either going to completely kill the whole planet and everything on it, because that's what they've already accomplished time and time again. And now they've been doing it to Earth. And then they start looking for other planets that they can go to that is, feminine planet, healthy, life force energy everywhere, beings everywhere that they can enslave and they can siphon their energy from, and they can rape and they can use the sexual energy, blah, 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 all the shit that they do here. They start looking and planning for other places, because if we wake up for real, we'll put an end to all this crap once and for all. There's our spiritual war that we're supposed to win. If we don't wake up and do the real actual work, which we're running out of fucking time to do. So those of you who know you have a big mission and you're supposed to be a warrior, fucking let's go. Come on. No more excuses. Rise the fuck higher. Let's go. Stop acting powerless and pathetic. We came here to do a job. Let's unite together and do the fucking job. Because if not enough people wake up, and I mean for real, the energetic work is waking up for real. That's simple, black and white. If you do not wake up for real, and enough of us don't wake up for real, this whole planet fucking dies. Because what we've done to the soil on this planet with big ag and our pesticides and our chemicals and our poison, the soil's going with, it's just dirt and dust. There's no ecosystem to grow food and keep the planet thriving and healthy and alive. We all die. Everything dies. Bees die, we all fucking die. Like, it's that simple, people. Hello. So the climate change and all of that, do you understand that's these people, the elites, this rep race of shapeshifters that are in governments all over the world, leading the whole world, controlling the whole world, in front of us and behind the scenes. And again, they're not the only species, but I'm keeping it simple for this one. They have destroyed so much of Earth, the land, the actual soil. There's enough documentaries out there to go educate yourself on the difference between dirt and dust and non-livable soil, and how much of it's left of actual soil on the planet. There's beautiful educational documentaries out there that you can go watch and educate yourself if you don't know that yet. We are desecrating the actual land. And then to say, when there's too many humans on the planet and overpopulation, to say that we're not overpopulated. Oh my God. Okay. Let me address this one quickly. Okay. Okay. This is that patriarchal duality consciousness. Well, there's plenty of places to build on and have humans live on the planet. Oh my God. Okay, let's educate. To tear more trees down, to tear and destroy and desecrate more ecosystems of animals, of insects, of beings that live in those ecosystems, just so we can go build our fucking towers and our apartment buildings and our houses and destroy more of the land that is sacred and thriving, what's left of it, just so we can live. We're fucking overpopulated. That's not, we're not here to cover every centimeter of the entire earth, of all the fucking land, and get rid of all the animals. And other beings live on this planet with us. For the love of Christ, you are brainwashed by patriarchy. Other beings live in forests. They need trees and grass and soil and the ecosystem that Earth naturally provides for all of us. They need that to thrive and exist. The number of extinction of species is disgusting. That's patriarchy for you. So no, we are fucking overpopulated on this planet with humans. You know why? We're unawakened humans. And all we know how to do is desecrate and destroy, because that's what patriarchy does. So if you decided, simple analogy, so this sinks in a little more deeply for some of you. If you decide to have one person over to your house or your apartment to hang out, one person, and maybe offer a couple refreshments, couple drinks, whatever, there's like nothing to clean up after that. Hardly anything at all. It's just one more person in your house. Now, if you decide to throw a party for 100 people, how fucking much trash is there to clean up after 100 people in your house? Okay, am I making this simple enough? You getting that? Simple analogy, right? Okay, now take that to planet Earth. If there are 8 billion people, which almost all of the entire population is still globally fucking unconscious and unawakened, building, tearing trees down, tearing down forests, taking land, having no fucking clue how to care for the soil and the ecosystem of that land, and therefore destroying it, turning it into dust, so when the rains come, everything fucking floods and all your crops go away. That is desecration. That is patriarchal destruction. And if there's billions and billions of us doing that, we are fucking overpopulated. Do you understand the difference of it's not just a numbers game? Well, there's a lot more land that we could take up and use because there's, oh my. No, we've fucking done enough at destroying other animals' fucking homes, for Christ's sake. We've done enough cutting down their homes and trees, and then saying, well, the deer are overpopulated. We have to hunt them and kill them. Oh my God, you took all their land. What do you mean they're overpopulated? There's too many deer here. Are you stupid? This is patriarchal stupidity. You cut down and desecrate their entire home, all their ecosystem. You give them a much smaller space to cram in on, and then you're like, oh my God, there's too many deer living around my house. I mean, sometimes I just can't. This is the mentality of how stupid we are when we're brainwashed and mind controlled by patriarchal system of enslavement of reptilian creatures who have taken over planet Earth. This is the result. So in that sense, we are overpopulated. In that sense, we've created a climate crisis. We've created it. Humans have created it. We don't even have the soil and regenerative. Like, hello, we made this and we continue to destroy it. So those sociopathic elite creatures that are shapeshifters and take over humans and all that fun stuff that rule our fucking world and enslave us. Those creatures are going to either continue to desecrate and destroy and kill the whole planet and everything on it. They've already accomplished this. They have, listened to me, they have already done this to other entire fucking planets. So if you're too arrogant to think it can't happen here, it's fucking happening in front of our eyes. We're living it. And the only way to stop it is to unplug, is to raise our level of consciousness, is to grow our own goddamn food, is to turn your property, if you have any, I don't care if it's just a yard, if you happen to not live in an apartment and you have some even small yard, turn that into a goddamn farm. You can grow your own food. You can turn your soil into a regenerative, organic ecosystem where at least at minimum what you're doing is bringing in pollinators and butterflies and bees, and you're planting a couple trees that are fruit trees, food trees for you. You can have vertical food growers in your kitchen or your living room or on your patio. If you live in an apartment, you can do things to change what's going on in the world, but it isn't one thing or two things or three things that you have to do. If you are not doing the energetic work to encode yourself to a higher level of consciousness, you are not raising your level of consciousness. It is that fucking simple. And you need to let that hit home. Our very first semester at Masters of Self University, our intensive semester that everybody starts with, you start with your own individual programming. If you can't master that, you ain't doing fuck all for the planet. I don't care what you like. Your ego wants to think about herself or himself. You're not doing fuck all for the planet if you're not changing this and raising your frequency as an individual. You have to learn how to do that first. Get rid of all the programming, all this crap. Gain the power. That power is energetic coding. It's allowing your soul to come online more and more. And we teach you class by class, level by level, master this level, go the next level higher. If you're not becoming in that way, there is no judgment. There's no fucking judgment here. So get out of your whiny, crying, fucking, I'm a little toddler, piss pants, and stop acting because you feel so fucking inferior. You're offended all the goddamn time. We've run out of time to save this planet and all the beings on the planet. We're out of time. There is no more, you get another 5,000 years to figure it the fuck out. We are out of time. So do it. Like, no more excuses. Take your pissy pants off. Take them off. Buckle in, take a deep breath, and let's motherfucking go. And if you choose not to, I'm not going to judge you for it. I am never going to shut my fucking mouth of what the goddamn truth is, though. I am here as an educator of oneness. I came here to do that. My soul is here for that. I am going to hold the sacred mirror up to every fucking one of you on this planet. I don't care who you are. You're not exempt from having a sacred mirror held up so you see every fucking program you run that you need to get rid of and you need to recode with enlightenment. That's what I'm here to do, and I'm doing my damn job. I am doing my soul's mission. And if you're too weak to handle it and you're not ready to put your big girl pants on and your big boy pants on yet, I'm not going to judge you for that. But if you think I'm going to coddle you, I'm not fucking doing that either. I'll judge you. I also don't fucking coddle you or stroke your fucking ego. I am your ego's worst motherfucking nightmare. So guess what? If you're fucking triggered, you're in your fucking ego. I am your soul's inspiration to get to work, grind, to do what we need to do to become the warriors we need to become on an energetic level and in every way, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. If you are not energetically recoding everything within yourself, your physical body cannot ascend. You have to descend down into the darkness of all the programming within yourself before you can ever ascend. That's the truth. How do you do it? We teach you every fucking step of the way. That's what MSU is for. Is the mystery school beyond mystery schools. We're a metaphysical university of oneness consciousness. We are a university of motherfucking spiritual warriors. We came here to get the job done. And some of you, you're failing your goddamn mission because you're dicking around with spiritual. Oh, I want to be special, go to this conference, or I want to be a speaker. I want to have my own podcast, or you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And if you're not doing the inner work on yourself, oh, look at that. I feel like I'm panicking today. I have a lot of anxiety. Oh, it's overwhelming today. There's work to do on yourself. Now, why would you sit here and misinterpret that as somehow that's offensive or an attack or shaming or blah? That's how fucking wounded and pathetic you still are. Holy shit, do we have a long way to go, and we're out of time. We need to get it together. Get it together, warriors. Let's fucking go. So I'm going to say this one last time. Get your fucking pissy pants off. Look in the sacred mirror. Let's unite together for real. Become the warriors we are here to become and fucking heal the goddamn planet. We're going to burn patriarchy to the fucking ground vibrationally by rising together in oneness. And that means no more motherfucking emotional fragility. I can't handle the truth. Bullshit. Wake up for real. Get it together. Because we have a job to do. We have a job to do. And there are thousands of warriors to be on this planet right now. We have a job to do together. To take this inverted, this sadistic, monstrous world of inversion and put it right side up and let Earth heal and let all humans heal and guide people into what that actually means. Let's fucking go. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.